Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm budgeting our entire month of July with $3,400. Let's see if we can cover everything. I'm a little worried that there won't be much wiggle room, so let's see what we can do. Before I start budgeting, I need to know how much I'm bringing in. I've already done the math on this, and I should be making about $3,400 without overtime. Now, I do know for a fact that I will be working overtime. I just don't know how much overtime. So that'll help us out a lot. Before the start of each month, I lay out all of our fixed expenses. Most of our bills or expenses are auto-drafted and come out the same date every month. Like our internet, our insurance, and our subscriptions, and our rent all come out at the same time every month. Our electric bill is not auto-drafted. We usually try to pay that before the 7th of each month. And our rent is always due on the 1st. And we always pay that with the last paycheck of the month, which would have been the paycheck I got on June 26th. And also we've recently added pet insurance because we have aging pets and they're going to need to see the vet a lot more. So I thought adding that on would be the thing to do because we can at least get some of our money back from their care. Now that I've got my calendar laid out, I can see what day all of my bills are coming out. Like I said, they all come out the same day every month, but I'm really bad at remembering sometimes as to what day those are, so I just have to, I like to write them down just so I don't forget. From here, I don't put in our gas or our groceries. I usually put that over here on the side, because I budgeted $650 for the entire month, and then gas is I think $170, and so I usually break that up between like a 2-week time span. So from June's paycheck on the 26th, that should last us until July 10th, and then the next $325 will last till this paycheck. So that's how I tend to do our variable expenses. Sometimes we're over budget, sometimes we're under. I'd much rather be under budget than over budget. Gas I treat the same way. I split it 2 weeks, so we'll each get about $40 worth of gas to hopefully last us 2 weeks. I don't drive very far to work, and my husband doesn't drive very much during the week. So hopefully that should last us those 2 weeks. Now our pet expense, that tends to be all over the place. We have grooming. We never know. I feel like we never know how much that's going to cost. I do know that it costs us about $65 per animal, and we have 2 dogs. They're aging, so they're going to the vet a whole lot more, and that's usually a surprise, but we have money in the savings account for that, so we can cover those expenses when they come up. Plus I also got pet insurance, so hopefully that will offset some of our expenses for that, so we can get a little bit of money back. And then lastly, our debt payment, the minimum for that is $191.93, and that comes out on the 20th. And I'm hoping that there's going to be a little bit of extra money in our budget, so I can pay a little bit extra on that, because there's one loan in particular that I'm working on, and like I said, I'm really hoping that we can put a little bit extra, because all of them are just growing and it's going to get bigger. I think I mentioned that in my last video. Yeah, it was definitely in my last video about how much we paid off in the last year, and how much is left, and how everything just keeps growing because the interest is taking a big chunk out of our tiny payments. So typically how I budget out every single month. The last paycheck I got was June 26th, and I do know that we had a little bit of carryover from the last paycheck after all of our bills, and with the paycheck that I just got, we should have about $2,333 and a penny. So from here, when I have this, I will subtract out all my expenses and see what I'm left with. And usually these expenses run from that paycheck down to the next paycheck. whatever this Friday is, the 26th. It'll pay all of these expenses in this time frame here. So I'll just kind of run them out like so. This one for rent. And then after all of that, I've already done my math here. We should have about this much money left over. We should have $118.49 left over. However, I do know that I also have a chiropractor coming up within the next couple weeks, and I know that that's another $25 to come out. And then the dogs have to go to the groomer. I think that was, what I'd say, $65 a dog. What is that? I can't math. About $130. So it looks like we're not going to have enough to cover everything. So I'll probably have to either get into our savings account or see if I can sell something either online or in my Etsy store or, you know, Facebook Marketplace or something to try to cover this expense. And then, let's see, all of this minus, not including these two items, this is how much is coming out in the next couple of weeks, because we're paying rent out of that last paycheck. And then essentially this is what the July 24th paycheck is going to look like. It's just going to be paying those things all over again. And then the July 10th paycheck is only going to have and I'll go over this again in a couple of weeks, but that paycheck is going to have $1,178.05 worth of expenses coming out. So altogether, that is, let me just do some quick math really quick. 7, 5, 12, 9. Should be $3,392.57. That's pretty close to my $3,400. That's really close to my $3,400. So, given this, we should have extra money if I'm getting overtime. So that'll be very excellent. So fingers crossed that I get enough overtime that this covers everything. So the biggest challenge this month is going to be to stay on budget and not overspend. Our biggest category for overspending is groceries, and here lately are pets, because we have no idea what to expect with them, especially as they're getting older. So mine's pretty tight. So hopefully we can make this work. I guess we'll see what kind of overtime I get. If everything goes according to plan, we should be able to stay on budget, avoid using credit cards, and hopefully make a payment on our debt. If you're budgeting this month, I'd love to know what your biggest financial goal is. Thank you all for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.